So I literally was just getting ready to enjoy a hookah, chill out in a man cave, and do some research. I've shown you guys recently, I did pick up a DDM4 300 Blackout by Daniel Defense, and I was thinking to myself, hey, listen, the NFA tax stamp, the $200 portion of it is going away in January. Do I want to wait till January and apply for it then? Am I trying to be a cheap skate and I pay $200? I'm still going to have to go through the enhanced background, the fingerprinting, and let your local chief law enforcement officer know. All that stuff still applies. But the $200 part, maybe I should just do it now. So I go start doing my research. And of course, first thing that pops up in the search is that tax bill that I just talked about, not the tax bill, but the actual funding bill that I talked about literally just about a week ago that the Congress proposed when they were basically attacking the Second Amendment. And they were not attacking the Second Amendment, but they were attacking the ATF, which was a good thing. And they were trying to make it so that they could become a part of DEA, and it was just a lot of good things that I was seeing in that, and I was hoping that they would go further. And lo and behold, the further part came from the Senate. Now, I don't want to talk politics. I just want to talk about just how sometimes the government just makes life so difficult for no reason. So Senator Chris Murphy, he's a senator, and I think he's out of New Jersey. He proposed an amendment to that to that funding bill. It was started in the House. It went through the markup process. It was sent over to the Senate, and he proposed to raise the tax stamp from $0, which goes in effect January, to $4,700, specifically $4,709. And why such a specific number? Because in 1934, when the tax stamp was enacted for the classification of those weapons and anything added to it, it was a $200 prohibitive stamp that you had to purchase. In 1934, $200 was a lot of money. It's still a lot of money, but it was a whole lot of money back then. And it was thought to have been put in there to prohibit you from being able to access anything put in the classification for NFA. And so it was a deterrent. It was never touched. It was never in the brain housing group of Congress until Congress zeroed it down, which I still think that they could remove some items from the NFA. I'm not really sure why they don't do that, but that's neither here nor there. He wants to raise it to $4,700, which adjusts for inflation. That will once again make it prohibitive again for a lot of people, including me. I'm not rich. And I could not imagine using more than 1 month of salary for some people just to get a tax stamp on a suppressor or anything else that's classified on the NFA list that would require a tax stamp. And I think it's kind of disgusting. This is the amendment that he proposed, and he wants it to be placed in effectively into that appropriation, and it will become law if signed by the president. And it would go into effect, or the law would go into effect whenever it was signed, and it would be for the new fiscal year, October 1st of 2025. So in theory, it would supersede what was going to take place in January of 2026. The likelihood of this being passed, I think it's like zero. Democrats don't control the Senate. They don't control the House. They don't control the presidency. But the point is, if those items are still on the actual NFA tax stamp listing, they could always be bumped back up. Next administration, someone gets a wild hair up their butt, it can be added back on there. And it could be added back at the $4,700 mark. That is why, for anybody that wants to be able to carry these things legally in your state, let's just say you're allowed to CCW, part of your EDC, a striker fired handgun of your favorite choice. Let's just say it's a SIG. Maybe not a SIG. Let's just say it's a good old Beretta. I like Beretta, made in Italy for most of their stuff. Some stuff made in the USA. Maybe I want to just support, dead air silencers and grab me one, and I can still legally carry it a part of my EDC and CCW. $4,700 just makes it where you would not be able to make that happen. And I'm making this video moreover because this is once again a demonstration, an example for things that you may care about. Any part of your everyday carry, it could always come under attack, whether it is how long of a knife you're allowed to carry in your pocket in your state. California, I'm looking at you. or the type of knife that you're allowed to carry, if it's OTF, if it's automatic. New York, I'm looking at you, or states just like basically let you carry whatever the hell you want. Texas, I'm here. I love it. It's all over the board. It's all over the map. And it's incredibly important that you know the rules that you're allowed to do, things that you aren't allowed to do, and things that are being proposed out by the people that we elect into office. You should really think about that. And for me personally, I am relieved that there's a low likelihood that this goes through. I think it's a talking point for him to take home and talk to his constituents about. I propose this, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the bigger point is it is a possibility that all of this could still be completely out of our control in the future. And I think that we 100% want to ensure that we're being mindful of this stuff, that we're thinking about how it can affect us, and we just always know the rules. Tell me what you think down below of, once again, the government doing something silly when it comes to our EDC, our CCW, and the Second Amendment. I would love to know what your comments down below. First time stopping by, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you part of the battalion. If this is not your first time stopping by, well, thank you once again for watching me run my grape. For everyone else, we'll speak soon.